everyone, and welcome to the Doc's Huddle, your gateway to an in-depth connection between sports medicine and the latest events in sports, fantasy, and betting. Today's show is brought to you by the Health and Wellness Depot. Unlock the power of well-being. I'm Dr. Mikey B. With me, as always, Dr. MJB, the legend, and Chris, a.k.a. CJ, the sports enthusiast. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to another episode.
How are we doing?
What's up, Mike?
Doing all right. You know, it's been a week.
Yeah. Only thing that has me excited, man, my birthday's Sunday.
Damn right.
I got Friday off. I got Monday off.
My man.
Nice.
He's doing right.
That's why I have this Jamaica shirt on. You know, it start early.
Yes.
Jamaican me happy.
Jamaican me happy. Yeah, anything with a palm tree, man. So today's episode is going to be similar to last week. Last week we did the NFC and AFC North power rankings. This week we're doing the NFC and the AFC South power rankings. So this will be interesting. This will be a fun one, especially because the legend over there, his favorite team is the god-awful Carolina Panthers, who will be, looked at more thoroughly during today's episode. Because that's the case, I would like us to start today with the NFC South. Okay. And I'm going to let the legend himself take it away. So, Mike, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Anyone who's watched the show knows that I'm a Panthers fan, but I didn't let that kind of factor into me being biased with the rankings. I do think we're going to have a better season this year. So without further ado, this is my ranking for the NFC South. Okay, I have the Falcons winning the division. Depending on how the other divisions play out, I think the Bucs can sneak in as a playoff team. I think New Orleans I'm not even sure how to even describe them. They feel like a middle of the pack team that's not moving the needle. So it's like they're just they're going to be mediocre for a couple seasons until they figure out what's going on. I don't know if it's coaching or players. And then the Panthers, I think that we'll have a better season than last. I mean, it can't get any worse than what it was. But we'll still end up being last in division. Shoot, we might beat out the Saints. I don't know. You just never know. But for now, since we're not going to be biased, I'm going to leave it with the Panthers finish fourth. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Atlanta. Yeah. I like that. I mean, I'm going to jump in because my list is pretty similar to yours. I like Atlanta Falcons go number one. I think Kirk Cousins changes the whole dynamic of that team.
Yep.
Kyle Pitts finally gets a real, great quarterback that can really throw a lot of targets at him. And Kirk Cousins loves the tight end as well. He's got other weapons to use. So I think they could take the division. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I think Tampa Bay is going to put up a fight. I think the two of them are the, top ranked teams in this division. I could see it being flip-flopped. And then after the two of them, I think the talent in the division falls off. I think, like you kind of mentioned it, the Saints are in a rebuild phase as well as the Panthers. But, it was also Derek Carr's first season with the Saints last year, and he started to play better towards the end of the year. So you don't know. He could improve and see where they are, but they are still in a building phase.
Yeah, for sure. I had a similar ranking system to you guys. Listen, I'm going to throw mine up there just so you can see. I really went in depth here. I took the Tampa Bay Bucs in first, and I'm going to I know that we're thinking Falcons are going to win this division because of Kirk, and this has nothing to do with Kirk. Okay, I literally had it 9-7-1. I literally looked at the schedule and I tried to pick the best possible schedule I think each team could win for both the divisions this week. So at best, this is what I think that these teams can achieve based off of their schedule. And the Falcons have a little bit of an easier schedule. Yeah. 30-14.
Hell, man. You gave us one win extra. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you said improvement. There's your improvement. It ain't much, but it's something. You guys are still picking top three, all right?
Jesus.
I mean, if you look at the schedules, if you could tell me four people you think you definitively can beat, let me know, because I can't.
What do you have? Are you having us being swept in our division or something?
I have you like winning one game max.
Yeah, I would say against the Saints for one.
It's home against the Saints. Home against the Saints. Listen. If there's any more than that, I think the second win might come from at best the Falcons. And again, I'm going to explain why. But I don't think so because of the losses that you've had on defense. I just don't think that you're going to be able to stop Kirk in that offense. But the Falcons, I feel most comfortable with the Bucs. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield guy. You both know that. Always have been. Always will be. Okay. And he played phenomenal last year for what it was and what his expectations were. And I don't think that they had too many losses. Guys like Mike Evans, who was supposed to leave, they had so much success. He did resign despite saying he was going to leave. Like, I think that this team can do more based off the schedule that they have. And then the Falcons, man, that front office, you got a new head coach. I don't know what to expect to see him like. So I know Kirk is supposed to be like the Messiah, but I'm not saying that they're going to go and just beat out a more proven Bucs team. I think that they're going to do well in being games, but I think that their schedule's worse off for them than in comparison to last year. Like last year, they had an easier schedule and they just couldn't get it done. This upcoming year, like they're playing some powerhouses.
It's gonna be a different year. I think Baker Mayfield came off of one of his best seasons starting, so I agree with you there. And the Buccaneers defense is pretty good as well, so I can see it. I think it's going to be a close battle. I mean, I like the records of 9-7, 9-8. Like it could flip flop. So I think it could come down to them playing each other and who beats out who. So I like that.
Yeah, nothing's definitive. Yeah.
Well, to add to that, the Falcons. The only reason I'm optimistic about the Falcons is because they were in a lot of games last year that if they just have a competent quarterback, they have a really good season. So I thinking agree. That having Kirk Cousins kind of 100%. puts them over the edge to win those games. I don't like the disrespect that the Panthers got. That's crazy. I'm gonna chuck it up to it being Wednesday and you're tired and we're just going with that because of what in the hell, man.
All of that is okay. So talk to me. Who do you have?
I'm looking at the Panthers' schedule, and it is not pleasant.
No, let's call it out, and I'll call wins and losses.
Okay, right. Away against the Saints in the Superdome.
That's the first game of the season? Jeez.
Yeah, rough. Okay. Chargers. Right in Vegas against.
Am I doing this or you?
Okay, go ahead. You think you're gonna beat the Chargers?
No, it's we're 0-2. We're 0-2.
Okay. Now you're gonna go against Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins in Vegas.
They ain't got a quarterback, so I don't know, man.
With your pathetic offensive line,
it's gonna be better. They don't have a quarterback. I don't know, man. That can go either way.
Davante Adams might be,
That can go either way. Can go either way. They don't have a quarterback, bro.
Aiden O'Connell didn't do terrible. And wait, they don't have a quarterback. Our boy took the Colts. Okay.
Oh my God.
Gardner Minshew took the Colts to the goddamn play, or he would have taken them to the playoffs if the running back could catch the football. I'm telling you, he's a gunslinger. He's going to be winging it like A-Rod. Not as good as Rodgers, but he's going to be winging it to Davante Adams. They're going to have success there with him at the helm. Are they going to be an unbelievable playoff team? No, but they're going to have success. And I do not see the Carolina Panthers beating that. There's no way that defense of yours that is, synonymous with Swiss cheese is going to be able to stop Davante Adams and the gunslinger. I'm sorry.
The disrespect just doesn't stop. Synonymous with Swiss cheese is crazy.
Do you disagree?
Man.
Do you disagree?
Continue.
Yeah, he don't disagree because he knows. It's okay. Denial's understandable. The Bengals.
Damn, you're getting beat up.
That's a loss.
Okay, yeah. So you're 0-4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0-4. Away at the Bears. I gave you potential. I still think you're going to lose, but I gave you potential on that one.
I'm going to chuck it up as a win. There's no way we're going to go 0-5, dude. There's no way. To start the season, no way we're going 0-5.
Okay. All right. I'll give you the win. So now it's one win.
There's no way.
Falcons.
And if there is a way, bring out the noose.
No, it could happen. Falcons.
Win.
Hell, no.
Win. We're splitting with them in the season, bro. Win.
So you're splitting with them this season, and they're still going to win the division.
Yeah.
Did you see their schedule?
You know, divisional games are always the hardest games.
I agree.
There's no guarantee with that.
Yeah, I agree, but you know,
we're coming hot off a Bears win.
Commanders.
We're 2-0 there. I like us for that one.
I gave you that win.
Okay, so boom, we got 3 already, baby. Win.
Okay, fine. Okay, Broncos. I gave you that win.
Okay.
At Mile High, I gave you that win. Okay. Saints. Gone. Loss. Giants.
That's a loss.
Chiefs.
That's a loss. Definite loss.
Bucks. Eagles. Cowboys. Bucks.
We're gonna split with the Bucks too. I'm telling you.
So you think you're gonna get 6 wins?
That's not a lot, man.
Listen,
I see both sides.
Every single year, 1 or 2 teams got to go with only 2 or 3 wins. There's got to be a first round pick, Mike.
It don't got to be us again, man. It don't gotta be, man. I mean, enough's enough, bro. Like, it don't gotta
you didn't even get to enjoy your first round pick this year because the Bears had it. Maybe next year you get to use it.
Listen, I could see us with 6 wins, man. 6 wins not bad. I just think I like you're saying the defense is worse, but I think the offense is significantly better than where it was. And I think that could potentially win us a couple games. That's all I'm saying. I'm not listen, I have us in the same order as you. So clearly I'm not saying we're good, but
no. Well, you tell me they're gonna lose, they're gonna come in 4th in this division by 1, according to my rankings, by 1 game to the Saints, which I think is a little, you know. Okay.
No, I'm just banking on that division's hard, and even when we lost to those teams, the games were close.
No, they were.
So
especially against the Falcons.
Yeah, so it can be a coin toss. If Bryce has a good season, we could potentially win some of those division games. And again, we're not going to be good, but I think we'll be better than 3-14.
All I have to say is, other than November 10th, when they play the Giants in Germany, I will be rooting for you, and I sincerely hope that you are better than 3-14. I hope you're better than 6-7, 6-11. But
if we are, you're going to know about it.
Mike, everyone watching the show is going to know about it. You think that they're going to get 6 wins, Chris?
Looking at that schedule, that's hard. That's going to be tough.
I don't think it's possible.
I don't know. It's not even a hate on Carolina. Your schedule's pretty hard.
It's brutal.
Like, I mean, you guys are obviously in a building stage. I don't think you're there yet, but your schedule's tough. I mean, that is a tough schedule.
One of the worst divisions in football has one of the hardest schedules, it seems. You know, it is just tough. I mean, thank God the Broncos are garbage. And, like, you know, we don't know what the Chargers are going to be like, but I can't imagine them being a pushover team. That offensive line is going to be improved, and I think that they're going to really beat people with physicality this year with Harbaugh at the helm. I don't think that they're going to be any joke, but I do think that, you know, they're going to have losses.
We'll see.
All right.
Well, go ahead, Chris.
So I'm going to kick this one off. So
let's do it.
AFC South. Here's my order.
Wow.
I feel pretty good about this order. So Houston Texans, CJ Stroud is a stud. He's going to – I mean, the Texans only got better than last offseason personnel-wise. I think they're definitely winning this division, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Jaguars are going to really put up a good fight for the divisional win. You know, there's a potential for both of them to, you know, go to the playoffs. I think Tennessee Titans take a little bit of a step back. I think Will Levis is good, but they got a whole new coaching staff, and Derrick Henry not being on that offense is going to shape it to be a completely different team. I think it's going to be a very different offense without him.
I hate their backfield, by the way. Their backfield right now, it's just not intimidating. Like they I don't even know what's their identity.
The Titans.
Yeah,
It's going to be
I
Will
knew it
Levis
was.
right now.
It
I
was
mean,
They're
Mike Vrabel, Smash Mouth, beat you up at
their
the line.
identity
Derrick
is
Henry.
going to
What's their
be
identity now?
Mayo and
They're-
coffee from Mr. Kentucky over there. That's what it's going to be.
No, I think they're gonna be a pass. They're gonna be a pass first team. Like you don't invest
Yeah, 100%.
in those receivers and
100%.
not become a pass first.
It has
team.
to be. It has to be. It has
Yeah,
to
they're
be.
gonna be a
They're
pass first
changing.
team.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good
and-
thing because now you'll know what Levis can do, right? You give him weapons, you're gonna pass more. If it doesn't work out, all right, and then we know how to pivot. But so yeah, go ahead, Chris. I didn't mean to cut you
and
off.
also you said you don't like their backfield. Tony Pollard is a receiving back. So there's that says it all, right? I mean, like he can run the ball. I'm not saying he can't, but he's a great receiving back. He fits that scheme. So
Yeah, no, I don't
they're
disagree.
definitely a pass-first
I do
team.
think it's pretty
Calvin
suspect
Ridley,
though.
DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Boyd. I mean, they actually got weapons. They got weapons.
Yeah, they do.
But I think it's just going to be different and a matter of implementing a new scheme with a whole new coaching staff on offense. I think it's going to take time. I threw Indianapolis Colts down at 4th. I think I like Anthony Richardson. I don't know if you guys have heard that he said the NFL is easier than college football for him.
Yeah.
So that was a kiss of death. He's going to plummet from that statement. He obviously he played 4 games, I think it was this season, and he won 2 and lost 2. But hey, the NFL is easier than college football. So, they're going to have a very, very rough time. But I do like him as a quarterback. I think he's got the talent. If he stays healthy, they're going to improve as a team, but they're not there yet. That's what I got.
I don't even get how someone can say that and not finish the season is beyond me.
Yeah,
and I like him too. I do. I like what? It's crazy.
Yeah, terrible statement.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw mine out, Mike. Since
yeah. No, go ahead. I have a feeling you're gonna be closer to him, and I know I'm gonna be the oddball.
Mine is exactly similar to Chris's own. It's the exact same list. I think the thing is, I think Houston. It was hard for me picking between Houston and Jacksonville, but because I think that the sophomore slump is a real thing, and I think CJ Stroud could experience that. I just think overall, Houston's roster is just better to me than the Jacksonville Jaguars. And even if he does have that sophomore slump, I just think that they can find a way to overcome it and still make playoffs. I have Jacksonville second. Tennessee, I'm optimistic with. I actually think Tennessee is going to be exciting to watch this year. I don't know how good they're going to be, but I think like it'll be different from what we've seen in the past. And I think that that's good for the NFL. Like in the past, when I watched him, it was great defense and run with Derrick Henry and hope that, pray to God that he scores a touchdown. Now they'll actually see what they have at quarterback. They've been drafting quarterback after quarterback for a while now. So that'd be good to see. And then the Colts, believe it or not, the Colts roster is starting to improve. I just don't think that they're competing with the first 2 teams. And I think Tennessee just has more than the Colts have to offer at the moment. But yeah, that was my only hesitation between the Texans and Jaguars. I think the CJ Stroud, the sophomore slump, is a real thing. But I do think overall, between coaching and their roster, that they do have an advantage over the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we'll see. And plus, Sunshine got paid, man. And you know how sometimes guys take the foot off the gas when they finally got the money that they wanted. So I hope that could factor in too of how the Jacksonville Jaguars play. So we'll see.
It could. I just want to throw in that I don't disagree. When players do get paid, sometimes that does happen. However, I think the building of the chemistry between Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence is going to keep improving for the Jaguars to keep getting better. I think they're a great combination. So I think that's going to really make them a great team. So I wouldn't be – I took Texans first, but I wouldn't put it past me to say, oh, Jaguars could still win the division. I think they're going to be great.
And one more thing, losing Calvin Ridley played a factor in this decision because I thought that he was a key piece that they should have kept for this upcoming season, and he would have been pivotal to that offense. And I don't know. I just felt like, man, that's like a step backwards to me because I thought – he was a solid receiver for them, but we'll see.
Well, all great points. I cannot wait to talk about. Okay. So I'm going to respond by giving you mine. Okay. I gave my potential wins and losses again. I am a believer in the sophomore slump, not only for quarterbacks but for head coaches. Okay, I think that if you look at how last year, you guys know me, right? I tried my best not to put any bias into this pick, as like I love the Jaguars as well. I looked at the schedules. I looked back at last year's schedule and how it transpired. The Houston Texans were winning and caught a lot of momentum going into the playoffs to be able to wind up winning that division to then get in and then get the first game against the Packers, et cetera, et cetera. Jacksonville was on pace to go. They went 9-8 last year. They were on pace to get at least 12 wins. Then, Trevor Lawrence was falling apart. He had multiple injuries, couldn't even get through the season. When he tried to play, he couldn't even throw. We're talking, he was missing slant routes, 4 yards from the line of scrimmage, from just falling apart. He's coming in this year healthy. And the one thing I disagree with was Mike, when you separated the Texans and the Jaguars, was coaching. I think Doug Peterson is. I'm not saying that Texans don't have good coaching, but I think that the sophomore slump is a real thing, and I think Doug Peterson is such a proven coach, and that chemistry that Christopher mentioned I think it's real, and I think that that's going to help them based off their schedule. I think they can pull out an 11-win season this year and take the division. I also think, the Calvin Ridley thing. Again, not only did I watch him a lot, but he was also my fantasy team, and I know fantasy production and helping your team out are two completely different things. There'd be games where you didn't even know he played, and he was on for more than 50% of the snaps, and you did not even know he was on the field. So when you see what the Titans paid him and where we needed to allocate those other salary cap needs there in Jacksonville, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with letting that go because I think he needs to have a bigger breakout year to earn what he got, but because the market's so high that the Titans had to pay it, you know what I mean? So that was my thoughts on that. So I think that the Jaguars, it's their division to lose. I know that the Texans are the ones that are the hotter commodity because of CJ Stroud and some of the offseason moves that they made, but I just think based off of, again, the schedule that they have, I think that's how it's going to play out. And then when you get to the Colts versus the Titans, this one came heavily down to schedule and coaching. I have no idea what coaching is going to be like in Tennessee. It's all new. Front office, right? It's only their second year. They made moves that we agree to change what that offense looks like to something else. Doesn't mean it's going to be successful. And despite the weapons. And then Shane Steichen. I think he's a phenomenal coach. The amount of success that he had as the offensive coordinator there in Philadelphia. Now he's going into second year with the Indianapolis Colts. Rookie coach brings them a pass away from the playoffs without Anthony Richardson. I think they're going to be a better football team. Everyone's going to go into their second year of the system. You don't have the Jonathan Taylor drama for the first half of the year like they did last year. I feel really good about it. I think that the Colts are going to surprise people, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're even better than the 7-10 record. But based off of what their scary schedule looks like, I think that's where they're going to end up.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, yeah, everything you're saying are valid points, Mike. It's hard, man, because the sophomore slump is a real thing, but it's crazy because the Texans actually got better on offense. You know what I mean? A lot of times teams who, for quarterbacks who have sophomore slumps, the teams tend to think that, all right, he's good enough. All right, if we just keep the team together, then we'll be fine and see how he goes. Man, they actually added Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs. They have Dalton Schultz. I'm like, what? All the positions that may have been question marks last year going into this year, they solved it. So I'm like, man, it's hard. Obviously, I do believe that it's a real thing. I wouldn't have mentioned it before if I didn't. But to give him more, you could have him even do less and still have success, right? That's kind of how I'm looking at it as. But solid points, though. I think everything you're saying is absolutely true and can happen. But go ahead, Chris.
No, I like the list. I was hesitant putting the Colts up there based on Anthony Richardson's injuries.
Yeah.
No,
I
valid.
think
Valid.
I think
And they
if
don't have
he's
Gardner, so very
I
valid.
think if he's healthy, then I get that. I think if he's healthy, then this is a great list. Tennessee, I think, is actually the biggest question mark in this division based on coaching.
Agree.
100%. We have no idea what they're going to look like. I mean,
Agree.
they have. You're right. I'm not disputing the fact that they have weapons, but there's been plenty of teams that have weapons, but they just can't get it together. Like, what's that offensive line going to look like? I mean, Will Levis was getting buried last year, right? Like, what is that going to look like? I just,
I think the difference,
but I am
too,
excited because we can see it turn over. Like, I'm ready for that for the Titans.
Yeah,
I think the hardest thing for the Titans is going to be that, like, what do you do when you play Derrick Henry? You load the box, so it's going to be different. Where, like, you don't have to play like your scheme doesn't have to be built around Derrick Henry.
No team,
it's just going to be such a different scheme.
Yeah, no team is going to walk into the game against the Tennessee Titans worried about the running game.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah,
but that's what Chris is saying. Chris is saying, like, now it'll be different and could be what they
need.
There's
a lot more pressure on Will Levis, basically.
Yeah,
because that's what I'm seeing.
No, I completely agree. Trying to get a stat here. Let's see. Can't find it, but I remember seeing. I can't get it the exact amount, but like the Cowboys did not perform well rushing the football last year, right? Like they did okay. But there are plenty of teams.
I assume that you're taking the stat to compare Tony Pollard.
Right. And they have a better offensive line. Right. They have two fantastic guards on that team. I'm just taking that into consideration, like where I'm saying to myself, I hope he has success. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
I mean, he's a pass first running back, in my opinion. So I think that's just part of the scheme.
No, that's fair. But yeah,
I do have one more question for you guys.
Hit me.
With your AFC and NFC South rankings, do you guys project both teams that you guys have position 1 and 2 to make playoffs?
I'd have to really think about the whole NFL as a whole. Like I'm not going to say no. I think Jacksonville and Houston can do that. But I'd have to take into consideration how many wild card spots there are and all the other teams without just saying yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done a playoff overview. I'm with Chris. I don't think that there is a shot in hell that there's 2 coming from the NFC South. I don't think that. I don't think so. No, there's no way. And I think that out of these 2 divisions, I think the best shot is going to be the AFC South, Jaguars, Texans, like Christopher said. I mean, listen, there's 3 wild cards. I definitely think that the last seed can wind up being one of these teams for sure. It just depends on what the rest of everything plays out. And I think it'll be a lot easier to answer those questions after we finish doing the shows because we still have 2 more shows on this stuff with the NFC and AFC East and the NFC and the AFC West. So great question. What do you think?
No, I mean, I think I'm with you guys. If I had to just off face value, I think since we have Falcons and Bucks so closely ranked, it wouldn't shock me if somehow they both got in. And I mean, I think it's more doubtful, but I mean, it wouldn't shock me, considering it's 3 wild card teams that could get it.
I would definitely be shocked. Yeah, because I don't think that there's going to be enough wins there, right? It's a close battle within the division, but I think that, I think in the NFC, there's going to be teams that have 10 wins that don't get in.
Oh, so you think the NFC is pretty good?
I mean, there's some solid teams. I mean, you got Cowboys, Eagles, you have Green Bay, you have, I think I mentioned it and we didn't talk about the NFC West yet, but I think that, yeah, obviously the 49ers, I think that the Rams are going to have a play out the wild card this year. You know, like I think a lot of these teams can make moves, you know, like it's possible. You don't think so?
No, the only reason I say that is like, for instance, well, and we'll dive more into it, but I think they're strong divisions, but I don't think I think there's a couple divisions that have potentially could have 2 or 3, but I don't think that every division could have 2. Like I don't see NFC North having 2, like, you know what I mean? So like it could pull from a different division. If
You don't see NFC North having 2?
Really?
No, I don't see NFC North having 2. If anything,
I think
I see
Green Bay and Detroit.
Lions and Green Bay. You don't think so?
No,
Lions and Green Bay. I think that they're one of the more likely divisions to have 2.
I think so.
You have Lions and Green
NFC
Bay.
East and NFC North are.
Lions and Green Bay.
I would have to see their schedule to
right.
really say that.
And that's the thing. But if you think about like top 2 dogs in each division, you got Lions and Green Bay battling for. You have the Eagles and the Cowboys. You have the 49ers and the Rams. Don't dispute the Rams. Rams won 10-7 last year. Right?
So you think Rams are better than Seahawks?
They were last year. Seahawks were 9-8. Rams were 10-7. And is that possible to happen again? I think so. I think that they're more proven at the quarterback position. And I don't know what that I mean, I have no idea what the Seahawks are going to look like.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just asking.
Pete Carroll, I mean, again, this is, we can always dive more into this when we do the NFC West episode, but like Pete Carroll was like a Mike Tomlin. You knew that if they weren't going to make the playoffs, they're fighting to get into the playoffs every friggin' year.
Yeah.
He ain't there no more. I don't know what that team's going to look like.
Yeah. No, true.
You know, whereas the Rams are a proven commodity, and I honestly think that this offseason, despite the departure of Aaron Donald, I don't, minus that loss in other areas, I still think that they improved. They actually had a first-round draft pick for the first time in years. Yeah. I mean, are you kidding me? Like they're actually they're building. Like I think that they're going to be a team that's in the race. So you have 49ers and Rams, Eagles and Cowboys. You have Packers and Lions. Okay. That's 6 teams right there. And then you have the division winner from the NFC South. Say it's you guys said the Falcons. Say I said the Bucks. But neither, like, do you guys have either of those teams winning more than 9 games? Because you look at the Seahawks, they went 9-8. You got other teams that can win around 9 games, so it's going to be really.
It's hard. The reason that makes it hard, like, and it'll be interesting to see when we actually do playoff rankings. Those division games, man. Like, for instance, you mentioned the NFC West. And I get how you feel about the Rams, but it's like every game in that division is hard. Like, even if you feel that way about the Rams playing Seahawks, that's no walk in the park.
Oh no,
you know,
especially only 1 game difference from last year.
You know, right. Seahawks playing 49ers, that's no walk in the park. You know what I mean? It's so it just makes it hard because I imagine so much teams beating up on each other that when the time comes, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't see that happening. But it's like you have multiple divisional games, and it depends how many teams they play in the AFC. Because I think the AFC is overall still better. So like, if you told me they were playing the hardest teams in the AFC and their NFC West team, it's like, ooh, that's tough. You know, like if they're playing, I don't know, AFC North, for instance, and then they're following up with their division, that's a lot of tough games. So. But it'll be interesting to see. I think when that time comes and we're looking at this, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no,
because
yeah, you're right.
It's not gonna be easy to pick those teams.
I agree. I totally agree. Well, I think we made some really good points. I think that there wasn't too much division amongst us. I know I had some changes between you guys, but I think that at least we had good reasoning amongst us. Like we don't feel like anything was too outlandish. So
no. Even your rankings, even though they're different from mine and Chris, I think it's not offlandish. Like it's not like, oh, whoa, how do you make that pick? I mean, I felt how I felt about the Panthers, but that's more heart than brain. So, but no, they weren't like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, yeah, I think the Panthers are going to be the best. No, that's not how we ranked them. Like,
True.
Honestly, I didn't even know our schedule was that hard until you guys said it.
Yeah, it sucks. It's rough. That's a rough schedule.
I was like, damn, I dug myself in a hole.
Hey, listen,
Yeah, you did,
again,
yeah.
you're thinking with this, not with this, but I get it. Hey, listen, you can't hate you for hoping, right?
Hopes and dreams. That's all we have, man.
That's all we have, just hoping and dreams. Well, anyway, so that's going to wrap it up for the power rankings for the NFC South and the AFC South. Stay tuned next for a similar episode next week. And I want to remind everyone that today's episode, once again, was brought to you by the Health and Wellness Depot. Unlock the power of well-being. I want to say thank you for watching today's episode. For CJ, Dr. MJB, the legend, I'm Dr. Mikey B. This is the Doc Huddle Show. Take care.
Later.
Cool.